there was a special girl. Her name was Erika. She's 10 years old. Her favorite color is pink. She likes chocolate. She loves some Spanish praise music. I first met her, it was about our third or fourth day in Nicaragua, and she was in our hotel, and she was afraid. Our whole group was hanging around, and I really wasn't sure who she was, but I said, hey, there's a pretty, precious little girl who looks kind of scared. Let me go talk to her. And I later found out that this girl had come the very first day we did a vision clinic. She had come with her mother, and her mother pulled up her dress and showed this abscess on her leg, which was the size of a clementine. It was really hard, and it looks like a big zit, basically. She needed, it causes a lot of pain, and she needed to have it drained, and apparently this process is very painful, and I don't know much about it, but basically God provided. He provided numbing spray, so the nurses could cut it open, and they could drain it. And so Erika didn't feel us cutting it open, but she felt the fluid draining out, and apparently that process is it's tremendously painful. I didn't know any of this had happened the first day. I was out busy playing with kids, so I didn't hear the screams, and I didn't hear the wails, and I didn't hear the begging for the pain to stop, for these foreign white people to stop hurting her. So I met her 4 days in, and she had come back, and there was a doctor, and so everybody's busy oh, here's this little girl. And so some of our group goes to the market, some of them go to the internet cafe, and I say, there's a little girl who's afraid, and she needs to be taken care of. So I go to my room, I get a coloring book, I get some crayons, I get some candy, and I get my iPod, which I had recently put some Spanish music on, some Spanish worship songs. And that's what we did. She felt very comfortable, I could tell. She was coloring away. She colored 4 pictures by the time I colored 1. And it was really precious. And so as they finished their surgery room, or whatever they were going to do, I had asked a translator if she could ask Erika if she wanted me to be there with her. And Erika said yes. And I am not a nursing major, nor will I ever be. I'm elementary ed, because I am not cut out for nursing. I cannot handle that. But Erika wanted me there. She trusted me, and I said, okay, well, that's where I'll be. Figuring I could handle it, not thinking it was going to be as painful as it was. But we get to the room, and they begin the process, and she's not put on any medication other than Tylenol. And before too long, she's crying, and she's wailing, and it takes 3 people to hold her down, and she's begging for the release of this pain. I know I was supposed to be strong for her, and I was strong for her in the sense that I held her hand and I loved her anyway through the pain, but I could not keep my composure. She walked away from the process, and smiling by the time she left, we took care of her, we loved on her, and I knew I would see her in 2 days. I knew she was going to be coming back because we still had more to do. All they had done was drained it and then inserted a drain, because what they needed to do with this abscess was insert a drain so that it would continue, the liquid would continue coming out, and so that way it would eventually start healing. So the next day they needed to take this drainage thing out, whatever it is, I don't know all the nursing terms. They needed to take it out, and so that's what they were going to do. But when I saw her, it was like a relief of joy, and when they went, they did the whole preparation thing, and I was afraid, and I had talked to our leaders, one of our leaders, Susan Lane, and I was like, Susan, I don't know if I can go back in there. I don't know if I can handle her screaming and wailing and begging for us to stop. I don't know if I can do that. I'm not made for that. And Susan reassured me. She was like, she trusts you. You need to be there. I need you to be there, and Erika needs you to be there. And so obviously I was there. And that process, the taking the drainage thing out, took 2 minutes, and Erika didn't even notice it. It was such a simple process, and she walked away from that. She was smiling. She had a ring pop, and that was it. She was able to walk away from it. And I know that as long as it does not get infected, the wound, that it will heal, and she will have a scar. She'll be able to keep her leg. She'll be able to run and walk and play sports. But if the process of draining the abscess hadn't happened, if the painful process didn't go first, then we wouldn't have been, then she wouldn't have a leg, and she may have even died from it. So I know, like, ultimately God's hand was in all of it, despite the painful process.